Okay, so today we'll learn from imperative sentence. We are just completing, we are just learning about rules of narration, and today we'll just learn about imperative sentence. How can we change our imperative sentence? How can we change direct to indirect when we find an imperative sentence? So see what is written here at first. So we use tell, beg, implore to ask somebody to do something in an anxious way because you want or need it very much. Entreat, uh, then to ask somebody to do something in a serious and often emotional way. Then we use encourage, then forbid, then recommend, remind, urge, warn, ask, told, and the rest in the place of said and said to in the indirect speech in the sentence. So in our imperative sentence generally uh, during when we just transform it into indirect, then we just use this word. Okay, in rule 1 we use in rule 1 we can see we use the infinitive, that means 2 plus verb in present form. So the teacher said to his boys, do it at once. The teacher advised his boys to do it at once. Okay. Uh, Actually, I'm taking the class now, but what may happen that I may seem to little bit tired or weary because yesterday night I didn't sleep properly. I was working on my website actually, and I was writing some articles. I didn't publish those articles, so that's why I may feel little bit tired or weary. If you don't understand me, please repeat. Please ask me the question. I will try to make you understand in a proper way. So, but I'm sorry at first because of this type of problem that we may face few minutes later. That I may feel weary or my voice may feel weary to you. Okay, I'm coming to the point again. Now, see, we use the infinitive. That means 2 plus verb in present form. In rule 1 we find this: the teacher said to his boys, do it at once. The teacher advised his boys to do it at once. So here, generally in imperative sentence, in imperative sentence what we find? Generally in imperative sentence we find three things, and that is, at first we find order. We find generally order, and then we find request, and we find also advice. Order, request, and advice. So what we generally do actually, so we have to when we will just convert this, we have to add infinitive, that means 2 plus v1, and this reporting verb will be changed according to
Can
the
you zoom a
tone
little bit
of
more?
sentence. Yes, tell me. Hmm? Yes,
Can you zoom to little bit more? Zoom
sure.
little bit more.
Oh,
Can
okay, okay,
see
okay, thank you
properly.
for telling me that. Okay, yes, you will inform me like this if you face any problem. Can you see now, Siam? I think.
Yes, I can see
Okay,
clearly.
okay. So here the teacher said to his boys, do it at once. So here the teacher advised his boys to do it at once. So here what we have just done, we have just changed the reporting verb into advice, because generally teacher, what does teacher do? Generally teachers advises. Generally the teacher advises, or teachers advise us generally. We cannot take it as order. We can take order from our boss, okay, but we can take advice from teacher generally. So the teacher advised his boys to do it at once. That's why we have just used advised here. Then Kona said to her teacher, "Grant me," or Kona said to her teacher, "Grant me my prayer, sir." Grant me my prayer, sir. So Khana politely requested her teacher to grant her prayer. We could use here respectfully too. Khana respectfully requested her teacher to grant her prayer. Okay, then he said, "Lie down, Tom." So he told Tom to lie down. Now here is another thing, and that is, for example, we don't know actually, we don't understand by reading the sentence. We cannot understand by reading the sentence that it means order, um, it means request, or it means advice. So what can we do? Our easy solution at that time is that we can use here tell. That means told. We can use here tell or told in this type of case. So he said, "Lie down, Tom." So he told Tom to lie down. So টমকে শুয়ে পড়তে বললো, কিন্তু আমরা এখন বুঝতে পারছি না যেটা অর্ডার ছিল না অ্যাডভাইস ছিল না রিকোয়েস্ট ছিল, তাই আমরা এখানে ইউজ করেছি টোল্ড। So if we don't understand the tone of the sentence, then we can use tell there. Then she said, "You had better hurry, Bill." So she advised Bill to hurry. She advised Bill to hurry. Okay, that's a great thing. Then okay, he said to his friends, please. He said to his friends, "Please wait for me till I return." So what we find here, so he requested his friend kindly to wait for him till he returns. So here actually it will be friends. There is a printing mistake, I think. So he said to his friends, "Please wait for me." So here we find please. So we are just writing. He requested his friends uh, kindly to wait for him till he returned. Listen to me. If we don't use here kindly, there will be no problem too. But we can, as we find place, that's why we are using requested to, and it will be polite to use. It will be formal to. It will formal to use kindly. So we can use kindly too. So he requested his friends kindly to wait for him till he returned. Then rule number two: if the reporter speech starts with "do not" or "never", then we have to use "not to" plus verb. That means we have to use infinitive, and before infinitive generally we always used "not". We don't use "not" after infinitive, or we don't use "not" between "to" and the verb. We have to use "not" before the infinitive. Then, so I think construction work is happening there, is going on there, so some noise may come too. So if the reported speech starts with, okay, so it's easy thing. So what we have read, so my father said to me, "Do not run in the sun." So my father actually do not run in the sun. He's telling us for the betterment, and he's not telling us to bring something or doing something directly. So it's not an order. So my father advised me not to run in the sun. Then my father forbade me to run in the sun. Now another thing, we can use the word forbid, and if we use forbid we will not use not, because forbid, this word is negative itself, and if we use forbid then there will be a redundancy or repetition. I think Shajid had posted something like this in our free Ingreji Shikha group before, that is called redundancy or repetition. So we cannot use in our sentence, "My father forbade me not to run in the sun", then it will be a wrong sentence. When it will appear in your university admission test, this type of sentence will come, and then you have to find out the correct sentence. So if I say "my father forbade me to run in the sun", this is the correct sentence. But if I say My father forbade me not to run in the sun. That is an incorrect sentence. I hope you have understood. Okay, then my teacher said, never tell a lie. So my teacher advised me not to tell a lie. Okay, then rule number 3. Okay, here we find the in rule number 3 we find the modals must, then would, could are not normally changed in the indirect space. So you should also note that some sentences with would and could are interrogative in form but imperative in nature. So actually the modals must, would and could are not normally changed in the indirect space. So these are unchanged. But in some sentences it could be changed because would could also express imperative, that means order or request. Actually request, they show us request sometimes. So okay, if we read the examples then it will be clear to us. He said to me, you must leave the place. So he told me I must leave the place. Now see here we don't find any would and could as imperative form. So that's why we did not change must. Then he requested me to help him to do the sum. That was okay. Then he said to me, would you help me to do the sum? Now here we find request in imperative form. So he said to me, would you help me to do the sum? So here we write, he requested me to help him to do the sum. Then I said to her, could you give me a cup of tea? So I requested her to give me a cup of tea. So actually what is happening? So if you find this could or would as interrogative sentence, then you are changing this could or would. That means you are just using requested. But if you don't find it in interrogative form, if you just find it in assertive sentence, then you have to keep it as it is. You can change it. For example, here must is kept as it is. If there would be would be unchanged and could would be unchanged. So must, would, could, this sentence will be unchanged in assertive sentence, but it will be changed, that means it will be removed in imperative sentence. Okay, then rule number 4. Okay, calling in the name of person. So
স্যার একটা
yes,
প্রবলেম হচ্ছে
yes, tell me Kamlesh.
স্যার এখানে আই সেড টু হার কুড ইউ গিভ মি এ কাপ অফ টি, এটা যদি স্যার মানে এমন হতো যে আই আই আস্কড হার ইফ ইফ শি কুড গিভ মি আ কাপ অফ
Yes,
টি।
yes, yes. That's the point. That's the point. Yes, yes. You can.
I was also trying to ask
You
that.
can. Thank you for asking. Actually, uh, I should have told you, but actually I'm not working in diverse way. That's why I didn't tell. Yes, it would it could be correct. Okay, it could be written in interrogative form. That I asked her if he could give me a cup of uh, he could give me a cup of tea. Okay, this is correct too. Are you getting the point? But here we just they are showing us request, that would you please give me the pen or like this. That's why actually asking favor. Okay, so when asking favor, so when someone is asking favor, then we should use it in imperative form. But when someone is directly asking question, then we should use interrogative form. But if you write this in interrogative form, that means if with if, that is correct too. But generally, if we find favor, we will try to write this in imperative sentence structure. That means in imperative form. I hope you have got the point. Have you understood, all of you?
Yes, sir.
We find here favor. We find it favor here. That's why we are just using this. Okay. Then rule number 4. Calling in the name of person. So say the name will be added as object of reporting verb. Okay, we have read it before, I think. So actually, what we can do here. So he said, Raven, don't misbehave with anyone. So here we find someone's name. So that's why we are using the name as the object of the reporting verb. This is the reporting verb and this is the object of the reporting verb. Now calling in the name of relations. So the student said, Sir, please forgive me. So addressing as brother or sister, friend or sir. So, but if we find the relation, so what's the relation with me, with all of you, teacher students, or with your friends? What the relation? Actually, it is the friends. For example, Shahid is friend of Galib. Shahid is a friend of Galib, like this. So when you will find the relation and using that relation, if someone mention, then we should use addressing. The student said, Sir, please forgive me. So addressing as sir, it could be also, you could also use respectfully here. Okay, or it could be the boy said, brother, please forgive me. So addressing him as brother, the boy requested to forgive him, or you can also add kindly, or if you don't write kindly, that will be okay too, no problem here. Okay, so what we learned here, we can use addressing as when we will find some relation. Okay, so the student said, Sir, please forgive me. So addressing as sir, the student requested kindly to forgive him, or we can also say here, the student um, the student requested respectfully to his sir, or the student requested respectfully to forgive him. The student requested respectfully to forgive him. That is also correct. No need to say sir again. The student requested respectfully to forgive him. Okay, one thing I am just telling. Actually, passive narration, this is just a creative thing. Or narration is one type of creative thing. Actually, if one answer can be different from another person's answer. So when you will do the passive narration, you will see you have written in one way, your friend has written in another way, and both will be correct if all rules are applied properly, and there will be no problem for that. What you have to know, what you have to do, you have to just apply the rule properly. Sentences may vary. Sentence may vary. Okay, there will be no problem for this. Okay, then rule number 6. By Allah, by God, then by Job, by love, by my life. Okay, when we will find this, then you have to swearing by Allah, swearing by God, or swearing by Job, or swearing by life or love. Okay, so what you have to do, if we find by plus some Allah or any godlike thing, then what you have to do, for any different religious superior superior thing, if we find our superior, if we find the superior, then we have to swearing. So swearing by Allah, she replied that she would not forget me. Okay, then rule number 7, imperative sentence with tag questions. See, he told me shut the door, will you? So um, did we read it before? I don't know actually. It seems to me that I have taught it to you before or in other batch. I don't know. Okay, To other batch, I don't know. Okay, I'm just continue.
I think we did before because I questioned about job.
Yes, that's why I think. Okay, no problem. Let it go. Then we will do operative too. Okay, then imperative sentence with tag question. Actually, it was Eid day, and after many days, we have just returned again. So it may happen that you are away from your study. So if we revise, there will be no problem. Okay, let's see it. Next day, when I will take the exam, then I will see who becomes first. Okay, now there are three people here. I will see. Sorry, four. Yes, four people here. So I will see who becomes first. Next day, when I will take the online test on this topic. And if I upload this video later, I may send the test link below this below the video description, no problem. And next day I will share it with you using Skype, the exam link, no problem. Okay, now see, so rule number 7, imperative sentence with tag question. So he told me shut the door, will you? So here he asked or he requested me to shut the door. So tag question will be omitted and rules of imperative sentence will be followed. Okay, so here tag question is omitted and other rule is has been applied here. Okay, Siam, another thing. Actually, I think this same type of rule we have just done in assertive sentence. That's why you are telling that, or that's why it seemed to us that we have done it before. But actually, I think it may be different because we are now doing the imperative, and before that we had done assertive. And in assertive, there was a rule like this. I think you can remember now. Okay, or perhaps not.
Text question. Job. Previous rule. Job word.
In assertive, perhaps there is
Without
it
is
was two. Okay, okay, let it go. Perhaps we have done
it's
it
true.
before.
Okay.
Okay, then rule number 8. Okay, so when late denotes a proposal, denotes means just indicates or refers. So when let denotes a proposal, the reporting verb should be changed in to propose or suggest, and let be replaced by should. Okay, so it's important. So if we find let us, then we are using proposed, and then we are also adding should. So we are doing this in let us. So we can say Borny said let us have a walk. So Borny proposed that we should have a walk. Now see, we can use propose or suggest. We can use only one, no problem. So here we could also use Borny suggested that we should have a walk, or here he said to me let's go home. That means let's means let us. So let's go home. So let us go home. So here we can convert this into suggested, or we could also write so he said to me let's go home. So he proposed to me, sorry, he proposed that we should go home. But here is one thing, that if you use suggested, then you should use to me or to, but if you use proposed, if you use suggested, then you have to use to or and object. But if you use uh, proposed, then you can omit that to, no problem will be there. So you could also write Borny proposed that we should have a walk, or it could be Borny said let us have a walk. So Borny suggested to me that we should Borny suggested to me that, or Borny suggested that Borny, oh sorry, I'm sorry, I'm doing a mistake here. So actually you will find what is written here. If there is any extra part after the reporting verb, we will add there, nothing else. So Borny said that let us have a walk. So it could be Borny suggested that we should have a work, or Bonnie proposed that we should have a work, and it could be he said to me, let us go home. So he suggested to me that we should go home, or he proposed to me that we should go home. That's the thing actually. Then rule number 9. But when let does not express a proposal, the reporting verb, yes, it's important. The reporting verb does not change, only let is changed into may or might. Might be allowed or any other things. Generally, we should use might. So he said, let me have a glass of milk. So he wished that he might have a glass of milk. And the reporting verb is going to be changed into wished, but keep in mind that here it is not let us, it is let me. So when we will find let us, generally we will use propose or suggest. Generally we will use propose, that is better. And when we will not find let us, when we will find the other things like let me, then we will just use which does reporting verb, and we have to also use might. It's important because it comes to exam often. Okay, then rule number 10. It is often safer for the students to use tell in the indirect space when there be any doubt about the proper word to introduce the reporting space. Okay, what I was saying, that it will be safe if you use tell when you don't understand the meaning or when you don't get the tone of the sentence. So they are telling the same thing here. So I said to him angrily, leave me alone. So here I told him angrily to leave me alone. So here it could be I proposed him, or I proposed it, I ordered him. Okay, but it is better to use told in most of the time. No need to use I ordered him to leave me alone or I proposed him to leave me alone. We are confused about here. He is ordering, or he is suggesting something or proposing. We are confused here what he is doing or he is advising. We know he is saying angrily, but actually tone is not clear. So we should use told here. Or I said to him leave. For example, there is no angrily, there is no word like angrily here, so I said to him leave me alone. So then you would be confused, then you could be confused actually what does this sentence express. You may be confused about the expressions, so then you could use the word told here, or we should use told in most of the case when we will be confused about the expression in imperative sentence, when we are converting the sentence into indirect speech. Okay, then optative sentence. So here in optative sentence we find, so in optative sentence, generally optative sentence is about wish or pray. Okay, wait a minute. No, it's okay. I'm doing in a correct, in a proper way, no problem. Really? Damn it. Oh God. Hey, perhaps we had completed this optative and exclamatory sentence too, and I told you to revise this for the test, and I
You
told
recorded previous video for YouTube.
yes, no, I didn't upload perhaps yet. I didn't get time to edit. It takes time to edit and upload. Sometimes it becomes 1 GB or 2 GB to upload. So I'm thinking a different way to upload on YouTube. Perhaps I will not edit so much. Okay, now what happened actually? No problem, we will complete this, and next day you will just attend a test on this. Okay, so now we are going to operative sentence. So actually we have read it before. I am just discussing it again about this. So we shall pray. So if we find we shall pray, that is generally so yeah. So okay, so we use we shall pray in operative sentence. So in our operative sentence, we have to use we shall pray in reporting verb, and generally the in question we will find said or said. So my father said, may you live long. So my grandfather said, I'm really feeling so sleepy. After that, after two, that I will sleep. After taking your class, I will just go to sleep now. Okay, now see, we use we shall pray. Okay, we have read. So my grandfather said, may you live long. So my grandfather wished that I might live long. So here we find said. That's why we are using wished here. I think you understand this. So you will just see the sentences. Okay, then exclamation. Okay, then another thing, would that. So would that and oh that are removed in the indirect space. So if we find would that actually also mean wish. Would that also means wish. So if we find would that in a sentence, that is also an operative sentence we will keep in mind, and we will use wished there, and we will remove this phrase would that. So he said would that I were here. So he wished that he had been here. Again they said oh that. Okay, so we had, it's important you will revise it. So he said uh, they said oh that we had won the match. So they wish that they had won the match. So would that, if we find would that or oh that, then we are using wish to, and we are omitting or removing these phrases from the indirect space. Okay, then exclamative sentence. So generally in exclamative sentence we use exclaim with joy, exclaim with sorrow, exclaim with shame. If we find fi means shame, sorry, fi means in Bangla if we can say chi chi, fi, then exclaim with shame, then wow, exclaim with wonder or surprise, cry out, wish or pray. We are using this instead of said or said. Now listen to me. The same rule is applicable. We don't know someone is crying for happiness, or someone is, or for sadness. We don't know. So then what we will do? We'll just use exclaim. Okay, we will not write exclaim with joy or exclaim with sorrow. We'll just write exclaimed. Exclaimed that. That will be enough. Exclaim that. He exclaimed that. When we'll not understand the expression, then we'll just use exclaim that or exclaimed that. So now see, the poor boy said, what a piece of good news it is. So the boy exclaimed with joy that it was a piece of very good news. So he said, had I the wings of a bird. So she extremely wished that she had the wings of a bird. So no need to make it so much confusing and tough. You could write here, she said, had I the wings of a bird. You can hear right here, he exclaimed with joy that if he had the wings of a bird. Or now see the sentence. This sentence also mean the operative sentence. That means wish. Someone is just desiring for something. So can also write it in exclamative sentence, or we can also write it in or in operative sentence. Both are correct. I told you before that during narration your sentence is correct if you can use the rule properly. So here you can write in any way. Then Farad said goodbye my friends. Now it's important. So if we find goodbye, generally we use bid. So Farad said goodbye my friends. So Farad bade his friends goodbye. So Farad said goodbye to his friends. You can write this too. But generally if we find goodbye we use bid. This word bid. B-A-D. Okay, there are so many sentences, you will revise it. See here, by Allah. So you could also write here swearing. Okay. The maid servant said, by Allah, I know nothing about the stolen purse. Wow. uh, Sometimes it happens, really. Do you know, I had lost 3,500 taka. I don't know, it was stolen by my maid servant or not, but it was stolen. Okay, it's not a problem. I think she had needed it so much, that's why she took. And after that, even I didn't mention that you have taken. After that day, that maid servant just told in phone that she's unable to come and she didn't return again. After 2 months, she returned again. Perhaps she was in problem, that's why she returned again and told to attend the job. But it was risky, so we just helped her with money, but we didn't appoint her again. Okay, so much gossip today we are doing. Okay, let it go. Now see, so I said, so the maidservant swore by Allah that she knew nothing about the stolen purse. Then I said to them, bravo, you played very well. I applauded them that they have played very well, or I exclaimed with joy that they have played very well, or just I exclaimed that they had played very well. That would be correct too. Now here my friend said to me, thanks, congratulations. So my friend thanked or congratulated me. You know it. You have used it so much time, I think. Okay, then no. Okay, listen to me. Though I am talking in a sleepy manner, but please try to understand these sentences properly now, because next day I'm going to take a test and I'll just see uh, who does the best. Okay, there is a offer for you. Okay, if anyone gets first, okay, next day in my test, in this speech narration, okay, then only for the first, okay, I will offer my Cliffstoffel course, okay, to him, totally all 130 classes free to that person. Okay, if you are fast, then I will just give you the total link of my Cliffstoffel course. So next day, be attentive for the test, revise it properly, and get a good mark and be fast next day. So you are getting 1000 taka uh, money value course totally free next day if you are going to be fast next day. Okay, then next one. Perhaps I am so sleepy today, I am offering so much, I think. Let it go. Okay, next one. See. Hey, are you online? Are you listening to me, or I'm just talking myself again?
Yes, sir, we
Yes,
are
sir.
online.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then come to the next point. When you are trying to change my any direct speech, and if I forget to offer you that course to the first boy, please remind me, sir. I am the first one, and you told me if I win in this test, the first position, you will give me that course. So remind me if I forget to give you. Okay, who will be the first? I may take 25 mark test. 25 yeah, test of 25 marks on this report speech that I have taught you today. Uh,
It will be instant system.
yes, MCQ test system. Like it is. Yes, it will be online test, and you can attend only one time. I will just do that system next day. Generally, what I do, you can attend a test again and again, but next day you can attend that test only one time. So when you
But
are attending, be
if I
careful.
do
Yes.
But if I do the same mistake before that, I can't access my. I didn't give my email. I gave, but you didn't receive. What is that?
Uh, you will just take the
Do I?
screenshot. You will just take the screenshot of the result page. Then and you will send me. Are you getting it? You will give. You will just give the email, or you will do all thing. But you will just take the screenshot of the result that in out of
What's
25
that?
what you have got. Are you getting it?
What is that?
So try to take the screenshot, and if you are unable to take the screenshot, then it's a misfortune. Okay, nothing to say in that case. Okay, so next day please revise these rules, all rules, up to page 9. Okay, up to page, sorry, up to page 8, all rules will be revised by you, and you will attend a test of 25 marks on Thursday at 2 p.m. Okay.
Page 1 to 8.
Yes, page 1 to 8, all rules with examples you will see, so that if I make questions, if I just give some twist even, you can answer. Are you getting the point? Four of you be ready for the test for next in our next class. Okay, now see. So when you are trying to change any direct space into an indirect one, you must remember some tips necessary. There, first, try to identify the sentence in the reported space. Try to identify the sentence in the reported space. Then secondly, try to identify the tense in the reported space and the reporting verb. Then thirdly, you must change the persons in the reported space. Then fourthly, you must change the time, place, adverbs in the reported space. So these things are so important, so you will just keep in mind. So when you are trying to change any direct space into indirect one, you must remember some tips necessary. And there, try to identify the sentence in reported space. So actually, at first you have to find out the sentence. What type of, here that means what type of sentence? Is it an assertive? Is it an interrogative? Is it an optative or imperative? Okay, they are saying about this. Then secondly, try to identify the tense in the reported space and the reporting verb. It's important. It is written in which tense? You have to understand the tense of reported. You have to understand the tense of reporting verb too and reported space too. Both are so important. Then you can change that in indirect. Then thirdly, you must change the persons in reported space. It's important that we have. I told you to use your common sense here when you're changing the persons. For example, sometimes first person is changing in which person, or third person is getting unchanged like this. So second person is changing, how second person is changing, or is it changing or not. So you have to read the sentence and you have to understand, and then you have to write the answer. Then fourthly, you must change the time, place of adverbs in reported space. That means you may change the time or adverbs. Generally time and place is generally changed. For example, now can be changed into then, like this. But what they didn't tell here, so when you will do the passage narration, at first you have to find out the speaker and listener. It's important. If you don't find the speaker and listener, then it's tough for you to answer or to convert that into indirect sentence. So you have to find it into speaker, and you have to convert this into speaker and listener. I hope you get the point. Now, so be prepared for the test next day. And one thing, that is, as a teacher, I believe you so much. So who will be first? You will not share the course with your other friends. I hope you can promise this to me. Do you promise that? Everyone, four of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who will be first? Don't share the link with your other friends. Or even the first person who will be first next day, he will not share it to second or third or fourth or fifth. That's the fun part of the exam. That's the fun part of reward. That's
Sir,
in such
sir,
a way.
if two or three get the same mark,
If yes, that's the point. Okay, I promise. If four people get uh, the same mark means, for example, there's 25. Okay, so if uh, there is all people, if four people are getting the same mark, okay, then four people will be able to get that. Are you getting it? To get the course. Okay, I'll give that four people. But what type of first I'm just mentioning now? For example, there is 25. So if four people have got 25, then all people are getting it. All students are getting that paid course, okay, as free. But if you if it happens that all people have just got 16, so then only the first will get, or there will be a list mark. That means in out of 25, at least you have to get 18. Are you getting it? Otherwise,
Yes, sir.
uh,
yes, sir, yes, sir.
he will not be counted as first. Are you getting the point? So
Yes, sir.
if the first we if the winner if the first winner if the winner cannot get the mark over 18, he will not be able to get the prize or get the reward. Are you getting the point? So that's the thing. That's the fun part of reward. Is it clear? So that you can
Yeah.
read properly today. Have you understood the point?
Okay, sir.
So if the first
Yes, sir.
winner has got 16 and he is first, but he is not getting that. Is it clear? So at least 18 he has to get. And if two people are the first by getting the same mark over 18, two people will get the reward. Have you understood, everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's the thing today. And I have many other courses later. I'm working on it. So if you can continue like this, you will get rewards like this. For example, there may be course on other thing like graphic design, or other thing like web design, or other thing like blogging. Okay, later I will offer later, but according to your academic performance. Is it clear? Those are paid for others, but those will be reward for my best students. Are you getting the point? I hope that will be a good idea for you, for me, and for you. Do you love the
It's
idea?
really amazing. Really amazing.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So be prepared for the test in our next class, that will be on Thursday. Okay, Thursday at 2 p.m. Okay, best of luck for today. Have a nice day. Okay. 1 minute, 1 minute. There is another task. So that is so be prepared for the exam, and you will also write a free handwriting. It's very easy, but for
Okay.
practice. Okay, how did you enjoy your Eid day? Okay, it was a different
Oh,
Eid day. Okay, so what did you do in your Eid day? I'm not
I,
writing the topic here. I think you have understood. How did you enjoy your Eid day? Is it clear? Or Eid ul Fitr? Is it clear? Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. So that's for today. Have a nice day.